Welcome to Community Heroes, where a spotlight shines on our incredible individuals shaping our world. We have a very talented woman here, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I am pleased to be here. My name is Ajinobe Job, a teacher, a poet, photographer, and a painter. It's a good honor to be here.
I would like to ask you some questions. How do you balance your roles as a teacher, poet, photographer, and an artist?
Okay, so I literally start, I think, at a very early age for art, basically. I started a long time ago. So as time goes on, I delved into writing poems, writing The Wise Man Says and all of that. And as time goes on, I developed it to be starting to write poems and participating in events and international competitions as well as national competitions. And how I navigate through that is most of the time I have a mentees or some of the mentees I teach at school. Of course, I'm a civic and an arts teacher at the same time. So what I do or how I navigate it, it's during the daytime and also during the week, it's just a teaching at school, and then from there, weekends, of course, I delegated to both photography, covering events, and all here and there, and invited for talk shows and so forth. So for the art, what I do is every year I held an exhibition. You guys know what an exhibition is? So it's an annual event where I have a collection of different masterpieces that I display and call the public to come and check on the works. So basically, this is how I navigate through the works.
Can you share any memorable moment when your artistic skills influenced your teaching or vice versa?
Yeah, because I think art itself is creativity, and when you start to delve with it, you inspire other generations. And we are in a world that need more skillful people than just people that are vast in other professional careers. And art to me is just beyond drawing and painting and photography. It's the ability for you to craft out work, connect with other people that have different identity, just like in the school here. So you must have different varieties from people that comes from different communities and different beliefs and all of that. So art bring all of that into connection of one pieces. Maybe just a painting will depict how somebody's culture is connected to you as an individual. It also helps you to navigate how you can connect with other people that you have different belief of, different ideas of, and where you come from, because identity is art. And basically, I think that is just one way or few ways I would have been navigating through connecting art and what I do as an individual. I hope that makes sense. All right.
What inspired you to pursue poetry, photography, alongside teaching?
Okay, so growing up, I don't have a very childhood that is well kept. What do I mean? My childhood days were very tough. I grew up in the village at some point with my grandma, and it was so tough. And some of the ways I navigate through my life, trying to heal all of the things that affected me was through using art. And first, it was just drawing, how I am able to, because most of the time I am sad, and I'm wondering, oh my God, what am I gonna do? All right. So how I basically started is starting to sketch, because I find my voice in art. And as time goes on, for me, it was just a passion that I keep doing, try to sketch every now and then. All of my books were having some write-ups. And then that's just one way for the art aspect. So for the photography aspect, I always love to take pictures of people, all right? I always love to take pictures, especially when they're dressed up. So while I was in my community, I started as a phone photographer. You know what that means, right? Let's say anybody or some people that dressed up in the community or at my house, dress up somewhere and like, okay, Aji, kaina talma, all right, something like that. And before you knew it, I was already a local phone photographer. So everybody that dressed up will be like, hello, Aji, please come take me a picture, without even a camera. So I'll use their phone, because I was having a bad phone, so I'll just use their phone and take a good picture. So everybody else in the community now keep calling me, hello, IG, I'm dressed up, manadam gente, I'm doing stuff like that. Can you please take me a photo? So that's how I basically bridge for the aspect for photography. And for teaching, I always love to, I always want to share with what what I know with people. So basically that's how the teaching aspect goes, and I wanted to just filter more because I believe that we are in a society wherein certain professions are not very amicable or luxurious. When you say, because sometimes you ask even teachers, even students, you ask them, what do you want to be? You will barely have one person that says, I want to be a teacher. So how about we all run away from the teaching fields? Who is going to teach some of you guys? So I have that passion to just filter the information I know to other people. And when it comes to poetry, I love the art of writing. And first it started with quotes, like I mentioned in the beginning. I said I start writing quotes. First, it was not even my quotes. It was the wise man said this, the wise man said that. And as time goes on, I developed the ability to start writing on my own quotes. And as time goes on, before I knew it, I already started writing small poems. And then in the Gambia, I'm participating for national competitions. And before you know it, I am going international and participating for poetry competitions. So yeah, that's how it basically began.
How do you incorporate creativity into your classroom to inspire your students?
Because I love poetry, what I will do is, if I am teaching literature, what am I going to do? I'm just going to tell them, oh, okay, poetry is about this. I am going to give an example of poetry. Now, what are you going to do? How are you going to delve into students understanding what you're saying? Is you giving them a sample. Because if you just tell them, well, poetry is about crafting your idea, poetry is about speaking your mind, poetry is about condemning this, poetry is about encouragement, what example are you giving for somebody else out there? And also, if it comes to teaching, it should not be just be teacher-centered. Students as well need to be involved so that they will be into your teaching. But imagine now you have a teacher that just focus on whatever he or she is saying, and that's it. So I am connecting my art. I am giving an example. I am giving photos. I am giving stories, so that whoever is sleepy, whoever is doing something somewhere, their attention will just be dragged to me. And then they will have that mind to just concentrate. Now imagine now it's just all about talking. At some point, some of you I know, you'll get bored at some point. You'll be like, oh my God, I want to sleep. Or you'll just be dizzy. But imagine now at some point in the lesson, there's a song, there's a poetry, there's somebody narrating a story. Everybody else's attention will be dragged to you. And they will not have any other option than to listen to what is going on. I hope I make sense, right? All right. So it's you, young lady? All right.
Can you discuss a specific piece of artwork or poem that holds special significance to you?
Yeah, I have one, and I think for the photography aspect, I think last year in November, I held the Starving Dreamers exhibition. The Starving Dreamers. What is Starving Dreamers? So I have a series of collection of kids that are in the streets, all right? I was just telling Mr. Ka, was like, it could have been much easier for me to just have visuals where it will be very interesting while I'm talking, at least you're looking at that. But I have a lot of visuals, photographs, basically that talks about kids in the streets, because I am passionate about art. And I believe that the society have a lot of stories that we need to tell. And for wherever you come from, you're supposed to be just grateful that you're brought up in certain ways. And there are a lot of kids that do not have that privilege, that do not have that comfort, that luxury, but they are still finding their path out there. So I think one that specifically worked for me better was the lady with her son that was selling in the street, just across Fast Chairman. That photo was taken around in Fast Chairman, not back. That photo is one of my best photographs that I often resonate with, because those are stories of Gambia that people don't talk about. Those are images that you don't see out there. And it's not just to portray the bad image of what is happening, but also to send a message to somebody somewhere that there is somebody who is going through this, but they are finding their path. So nobody have any excuse to be lesser than who you're supposed to be or who you ought to be. So it's also provoking the society to also navigate through that every decision you make in life is supposed to be either you're providing solution or you're part of the problem. And that also navigate through women empowerment to just send a message out there to say that, you know what, our ladies in the country are doing a lot. And as a girl child, you have all the right to dream and to become anything you want to become, as far as it's bringing positive influence to our society. All right? Yeah. Does that make sense? All right.
How do you use visual arts to exchange the learning experience for your students?
So, like I had mentioned earlier, like I said, it's always good, especially for young people, to just connect with what you are saying. So, what are you doing? What are you trying to filter? It's always good for you to connect with what they want to hear and what you want to teach. Because when you speak to something or about something that people can relate to, it's always easy for them. Now, for instance, let's say you are speaking about government roles and leadership and all of that. Maybe take an example of a leader at home, specifically maybe with your friends, maybe in the school administration, that they can connect with. But now, for instance, at this stage, you want to talk about prime ministers, you want to talk about maybe senators and all of that. Maybe that's something that we don't have in the country. It might be very different for you or difficult for you to channel that information. But now in the event, you just want to connect with a leader in the school. Let's say Mr. Ka. You want to take an example of Mr. Ka. What is Mr. Ka doing different from other teachers? What is the other leadership, the principal, whoever, is doing something different? Now that creativity you brought forward will have a connection of what you're training with. So it's not just an abstract idea, but then it's something that people can relate to or connect with.
How do your drawing, taking pictures and writing poems connect with each other?
So for most of my poems are stories, and it's about frustrations. It's about storyline that has to do with something. That's why I don't love the aspect of photography of just flat pictures, because I want every picture tells a story. So while you look at a particular photograph of mine, you'll be able to depict, oh my God, okay, that's a young kid at school, or oh my God, that's a lady out there in the street selling, or oh my God, that is somebody that is doing a work, or that is women empowerment. So the poems basically is about stories that we can connect with. And most basically, I always want to talk about systems, government, and all of that, because I believe that systems is what we believe in. And in as much as young people, as Gambian, as students of this country, we need to know our background history of who we are and what we are. And if we are trying to portray other people's stories, who is going to tell our stories? So the poems also connect alongside with the write-up, with the poems, with the photographs, and also the paintings, because basically it's about the sunset of our beach, or young people, especially kids. I am very passionate about kids. How I am going to tell some stories that are inspiring to other people, especially kids and women, that are very key in our society, because they are vulnerable. At the same time, they are very, very important to our society, for us to just cater for them.
Can you share a challenge you faced in juggling these different creative roles, and how did you overcome them?
Okay, the challenges are numerous. There is a lot. And I think just for a lady to be in a work that is mainly in society coded as a male job makes it so easy and so tough. Now I'm going to explain why. Imagine you're going to a photography event, or you're about to cover. Most of the time they ask is, where is the photographer? And a cameraman be. You guys can speak Wolof? Yes. And a cameraman be. Most of the time that's what you hear. Because society is not used to ladies handling cameras. They just assume, anytime they reach out to you, they just assume it's the one behind the camera supposed to be a man. I will have a lot of people that will reach out to me for contracts, and when I talk to them, and then all of a sudden, because my space is called IG Studios, so when you said IG Studios, it doesn't differentiate whether it's a male or female, but most of the time it's assumed that it's owned by a man. So I will get to talk with people and all of that, we share contracts. I'll just say this story. So I spoke to somebody, and we agree on price and everything. The person have a naming ceremony. So I was already on the venue before even the time stipulated. So I was there, the lady came out, and I said, hello, I am here. Where are you? I am here. And the lady came out. So I didn't know it's her, because that was my first time seeing. She came out and then goes back again. So I called. That was about 10 minutes. I called back. I said, hello. I said, I have been here for so long. What is happening? She said, no, I came out, but I didn't see anybody. What side are you at? Guess what? She was expecting a man. So I was like, no, I am here. I am having a jersey that is having IG Studios, and I'm in black. She said, no, ban side nga nekkee bro? And I'm like, hold on now. Why? And I'm like, maa nekk jigéen bu gàtta bu taxaw si bunta bi. That's one challenge. And just the way the attitude she was giving me, you know, like, oh, I'm not sure she's gonna do a good job and all of that. I entered. I feel a little bit lowered, but I said to myself, you know what, this is a challenge. Since the lady was expecting a man to be behind the cameras, I'm sure she must be wondering whether she's going to have quality pictures or good pictures. I said, you know what, anything I have ever learned about photography, I am going to display it today. I did the photos. And because sometimes I am lazy at night, I said, you know what, I'm going to edit all of these pictures tonight, and tomorrow I'm going to deliver, and she will pay me my money. I edit everything at night. And early morning I called her. I said, hey, I'm here. Your photos are done. I'm coming. Can I come? She said, yes. I went. And I opened my laptop and I said, here is the pictures. I transferred everything in the flash drive and I give it to her. I said, but before I go, review the pictures first. She said, no, send it to WhatsApp. I said, no. WhatsApp degrees quality picture. I want you to come check through my laptop. And guess what? She was like, wow, okay. Oh my God. That's a challenge. Now for young girls, for some of you that love art, don't say, oh my God, it's a man's job. Oh, painting is a man's job. You need to focus. You need to have that audacity, that belief, that courage, that whatever I set my mind onto, and it's geared towards the development of myself, my family, my community, this nation, and the world at large, you can do it. So that's just one of the other challenges that you face. But another thing, young lady, that I want to share with you and all of you is the healthy, unnecessary competition. Because you are a lady, everybody else feels intimidated. And the perception is because you are a lady or you are a young girl, you are limited. For some of you that are in your videos class, you better take force. You better take force. You cannot allow anybody else to be in front of you. You cannot. And let nobody limit you whatever you want to do. So these and other challenges I face as a society, as a Gambian, and as a lady that is doing a field that is supposed, and society see it as a man's job. I hope that resonates with you. Thank you.
How do you encourage your students to express themselves through poetry, photography, or art?
So I think one of my other plans that I want to do is to inspire young people, especially from the grassroots, to see how best I can mold young people, specifically girls and boys, of course. Because when it comes to the Gambia, when it comes to the creative art for the country, it's a little bit lowered. And most of the time, it's just professional career that is more encouraged. But I think skills and talent is very key to develop it at the early stage, so that we don't just discourage young people that love this passion or have the passion for art being discouraged. So what I am doing at my own level is, aside from teaching, I am looking at how I can talk to these young people from various places I am invited to talk to or to speak at, or panelists. I am trying to filter how best I can have young people to go through these trainings on how they can basically just venture into whatever they want to do, regardless of the limitations. So in my class as well, I know everybody is not going to be in the academic field or in the professional life. How am I going to encourage or carve out those that are passionate about arts and keep following it? Because it's not just professional life that will get you somewhere. Sometimes your skills, your talent gets you somewhere. So I am also doing that at a school level to just motivate other students that I am teaching to have a career path, to say that it is okay for you to be a photographer and a good photographer, and it's okay for somebody to be a painter. You might have your degree, at the same time you have an institution as well.
What advice do you have for young aspiring artists who are also interested in education?
So my words are this. I don't know how I am going to craft out all of this, but I love the fact that I want to see a society, especially in the Gambia, wherein young people are allowed to dream and to dream positively. Because in the moment you put a career line or a path line of success to people, that's when the society has a whole change. Because if you're just willing to just get a way in which we'll have to navigate through people, it's going to be very difficult. Because why am I saying that? We need to have a society that builds young people. In what sense? You have to just follow your path. if one thing that you're passionate about, you need to keep pushing, keep going, keep doing it. And also be disciplined to wait for it, because then you cannot just compare a friend that wants to be a poet and then for you, you just want to be a farmer. Because now we have a stipulation or a mindset to say, okay, if you want to be a farmer, it's not going to be successful. If you want to be a teacher, it's, well, somehow. If you want to be a lawyer, oh, it's a good thing. If you want to be a business tycoon, it's a good thing. So what I'm going to tell you, all of you, and to anybody that is watching this, is that it is possible for you to be anything. But what you need to do is, you cannot choose a profession just because of the money, just because somebody else is out there. Because we want to do something with love and passion. We don't want to produce doctors that get angry with us when we go to the hospital, right? We don't want to go to the bank because our money is there, and we are there and everybody else is talking to us anyhow. We want to groom teachers that are not just going to teach us, but be a parent to us. Maybe our elder brother, our uncle, or our aunt, or somebody that we can always run to talk to. All right? So, young ladies, young girls, I just want to say to all of you that are here, whatever you're passionate about, push. All right? You're passionate about communication, speaking, media, push. Just keep pushing and keep doing it. Time will come, you're just gonna get away, and you're gonna be so good that you will be a solution to your society and a generation at large. Thank you.
Would you like to ask any questions about her job?
All right. Yes, I will want to answer all of them.
Do you like your job?
Do you like your job being an artist?
Yes, I love it.
Auntie, how do you be an artist?
So literally, I started, like I said in the beginning, I started loving it. I started loving drawing some small stuff in my book, you know, at school level. I want to love to just copy something, you know, sketch something, and as time goes on, I develop it.
What inspired you into art?
Sorry, come again?
What inspired you into art? That it makes you put them all together to make it one.
I think that's the most brilliant question I've ever received. So what inspired me is telling stories. I have a story in my chest. I have a lot of things going on at a very early stage, and I want to filter it. I want to share with the world. And now I don't go about crying to everybody, right? You know, I cannot do that. So what am I going to do? I've started writing in pieces because there are frustrations I face, and I will not able to have to express it while crying. So what I'm going to do, I can only go to the art and try to navigate through that. So that's why when you look at most of my pieces, they are breathtaking, some are hopeful, but some are just disheartening. Does that answer your question, sir? Thank you.
What makes you confident that you join all your job together at once, and what makes you not to feel shy?
So I used to be very quiet at school. I used to be very quiet. And because I was having bullies at school, and sometimes, you know how it goes. Sometimes maybe somebody's just looking at you and they were like, oh my God, this is wrong with you, or stuff like that. So as time goes on, I just realized that everybody is made different. And how can you navigate through that? I just have to push. Every now and then I pushed. And it doesn't just come, the confidence just don't come like that. It has gone through stages. At some point I feel like, oh my God, I cannot do it. And then I pushed. At some point I'll be like, okay, maybe I should just give up. And then I keep pushing. So confidence is not something you build one day. It goes through stages. As time goes on, then you master it. But believe me, you cannot be 100% confident, because there are places you will go. At some point, you just have to feel like, oh my God, is this a right place for me? Because you will at least question your confidence. Does that answer your question? All right.
How did you become a teacher?
So when I finished high school in 2017, I pursued to the Gambia College School of Education, and my majors were art and history. So from finishing in 2020, I applied as a qualified teacher, and I was given a license to study or to teach both junior school and high school. So currently I'm teaching at high school.
How long has you been working as an artist?
I think now it will be 3 years. It will be 3 years now.
How did you get your jobs?
How do I get your jobs?
So most of the time it's through referral or social media. Somebody will just see my post and refer me back to the post or screenshot it and send it to me and said, do you do this? Oh, I want something like this. Or sometimes I'll do a job for somebody, they'll post it, and then they will refer me back to, oh, okay, I sent you a customer, so and so, so please talk to them and all of that. So that's how I basically have my contracts.
Auntie, what makes you happy?
When I impact other people's life. When I impact somebody's life. When I realize that maybe somebody is trying to find their path and I'm able to be a solution to that individual or to that community or to that project, I am always happy for that.
How do you become an artist?
Through trainings and constant practicing